So when it comes to many things in lives, I'm a little bit of a geek, and that also applies to how I set up my kit. And since I have a couple of competitions coming up now where I'm going to be using my kit, I wanted to make a video where I reference what are the stuff that I put on my kit, as it all serves a very dedicated purpose. So let's start at the top with the helmet and work our way all the way down to the boots, and I'll take you through what are the different things, why I selected them, why I recommend them, and what purpose do they serve. So if we start with the helmet, so this helmet is actually from a Danish company called Protection Group Denmark. They are completely produced in Europe. They use raw Kevlar from Switzerland that they send to Italy, which is then manufactured into aramid fibers, which is then compressed into this shape and format here. What I like about them, so obviously, and you will see that with my whole kit, it's finding the balance between something that is very effective, very functional, as well as keeping me mobile and agile, because that's a big one for me. I don't want to be weighed down like a tank when I'm out there in the field or competing or whatever I'm doing with my kit. So the same applies for this helmet. It's fairly light compared to many other helmets, even if it has a ballistic rating, which is very high, so it can stop up to 44 Magnum or 357 SIG when it comes to handguns, and it can stop obviously shrapnel and other blunt force trauma. It's pretty comfortable. So it has on the inside this memory foam padding, and when you need to wear it over longer time periods, it does a really good job in kind of like keeping that comfort there. And it's almost like those mattresses that, you know, when you lie down, you can kind of feel yourself compress into it. It also has a dial function here in the back that you can tighten and loosen up depending on how tight you want your helmet to sit. So in the front here, you obviously have the mount where you can mount your night vision optics. As you see, I do not have night vision optics here, and that might be a dedicated video where I talk a little bit about some of the strengths and limitations of night vision, because it definitely serves a purpose, but at the same time, it comes with a bunch of different limitations. So it doesn't always count as the right choice. And very often white light can actually be the thing that's the right for that specific situation. So here I have the Nightcore HC65, which is basically, I would call it like a working light. It's obviously not very tactical, so it's not something that you should use walking down a hallway. But when you need work light, if it's kind of like tending to wounded people, or you just need to kind of like light up a room or a camp, then it's definitely one you can use. At the side here, I have a little bit more tactical light. It's when your light signature needs to be a little bit lower, then you have this Princeton Tech light, which is great for like looking at the map or reading coordinates, or very kind of like distinct work where you don't want to have a big light signature. The last light is on the back here. It's probably the one that I use the least, which is more like a signal light. You can turn it on and it can blink or give off different light signatures. You can have a combination of different lights, red as you see here, you have blue, green, and you also have IR light. So it serves a designated purpose, often being able to be correctly identified by your teammates or avoiding friendly fire. Then it's good, but again, it's not very often I use it. Also here on the back is a little pouch for the night vision optics battery that goes in here. You can also have spare batteries on the side. I used the Protection Group Denmark helmet cover on the top, but it has elements of Agilite, as you see here, with the strap. And this is good for when you kind of like need to route the wires up to your night vision optics. These here come in handy. As for the hearing protection, this is the Norwegian standard issue military 3M Peltor Comtac XPI. It can plug directly into communications here. And the one thing I did with them, which I definitely recommend everyone to do, is that I've added the silicone gel pads on the inside. This is night and day when it comes to comfort, especially if you wear glasses, which you should do when you're shooting and doing tactical work. This here is so much comfortable when you're doing that. So definitely highly recommend that upgrade. So the next thing, if you go kind of like from helmet and one step down, is actually these here. So this is my shooting or tactical glasses, or just everyday sports glasses, if you like. Ironically, the first video I ever made on YouTube, which is like probably 8 years ago, that video got more than 40,000 views, and it was about shooting glasses. And I reviewed the different sport types, being Pila and Castellani shooting glasses. And I have those, but I keep coming back to these ones. And the reason is that one, they have the prescription baked into the lens. So Oakley actually do these here as prescription lenses, so you don't need an insert. I'm not a huge fan of the inserts, to be honest. I think that they sometimes get in the way. They can fog up at one side of the lens and then it's difficult to clean. So I just like kind of like having everything baked into one lens. The second one is that these are photochromatic, which means that now you will see they are completely transparent. But if I go out in the sun now, they will start to turn darker up to the point where they are completely dark. And then they will then change back again once you get out of the sun. And this actually works very well. I will add that there's a couple of scenarios where it does not work as well as intended. One is in Norway here during winter when there are a lot of white snow on the ground and there's a little bit dusk outside, so it can be a little bit dark. These tend to turn a little bit too dark for my liking because of the reflection from the snow. The second scenario is more in a tactical environment. So if you're operating outside and you go into a building, you go from extreme sunlight into complete darkness. These will take like a minute or two to get transparent again. So often that takes too long. So I'm actually considering to add a second pair, which is not the photochromatic, just the clear lens like this. Because the thing about Oakleys, and you see how these are tested, it also holds quite high safety rating for when it comes to ballistic purposes. So if you should get shrapnel or a ricochet or something into your eye, this would probably do a really good job in protecting them. You see I removed the rubber thing on the edges here, and that's to keep the profile as slim as possible so that when I have my hearing protection on, it doesn't add that pressure on the sides. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying this content, I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. There are tons of more shooting stuff coming up and some cool stuff that I'm doing in the near future, like doing some CQB work in Poland and also Viking brutality in Sweden, which is going to be great fun. Now, off to what might be the centerpiece for many when it comes to the kit, which is the plate carrier. So my plate carrier is from Agilite. You'll see I run a lot of stuff from Agilite. The key reason for that is that I tend to like their products. I think they make high quality products and they have some smart solutions, which I think is why they tap into the testing community. They have a large testing community. I'm part of their testing community and we provide feedback to Agilite that they then implement into their products. So they do have a few smart solutions. Now this plate carrier is one they have, which is called Case Hero. I mentioned in the beginning that I like to find the compromise between being mobile, agile, but still have the protection and functionality that I need. And I think among all their plate carriers, Case Hero is offering exactly that. So they have plate carriers which are maybe a little bit more comfortable to wear for longer periods of time, that have even more functionality, but they also have lighter versions, which are like tremendously slimmed down. So let's dive into how I've set up my plate carrier. So in the front here, you will see that I'm only running 3 magazines. The reason for that is that I want to be able to go really low in the terrain when I need to. And you will see people kind of like bulking up with all different sorts of pouches here in the front. And that might be useful because it's very handy when you kind of like need to take stuff out. But I also want to be able to go very low in the terrain when I need to go on my stomach. Either when I need to crawl under something, when I need to lay down to shoot, or when you just need to take cover. Which is why I'm only running 3 sets of magazines here in the front. And I'm very happy with that. In total, I'm able to access quickly 8 magazines, 8 rifle magazines easily from my kit. And the 3 are here in the front. I'm using the Agilite AG3 pouches, which I like. I first had the pincer plankards, the Agilite pincer plankards. And to be honest, I think they kind of suck, to be frank. I really like Agilite and a lot of the stuff they do, but the pincer plankards, unless you're running the standard kind of like issue military magazines, which are steel, which are smooth, the pincers will really snag your magazines. If you don't get an exact pull up, they will really bite your magazine down and it will kind of like take a lot of force to pull it out. With these ones, even with the Magpul ones that I'm having here, it comes out quite easily. So it's a much better solution in my own opinion than the pincer plankards. I also have the retention straps. I like these because even with one hand you're able to re-index your magazines quite easily, and it will hold it in place for when you're kind of like doing some real heavy duty work. You see me having the scissors here on the front. It's not always I have that, but it's very useful to have that really handy. In the bottom here, I have the dangler, and this dangler serves as an extra admin pouch, and depending on the different situations, I have various stuff in here. Right now I have, let me see, what a surprise. I have something to make fire. This is quite nice because even what type of weather you have, you will always be able to make fire with this one. It will never let you down. I also have kind of like a pen to be able to write on stuff which is not paper, so you can mark stuff on your body or kind of like different things that you need to take marks on. In here I have a flashlight. This is my kind of like everyday carry flashlight, the Nightcore EDC 29. It's obviously not a very tactical light, but I do have light on my pistol and on my rifle, and as you saw on my helmet. But it's not always optimal to have to point a weapon at something that you want to illuminate. So having a flashlight like this for when you need to search for something, when you're moving around camp, or when you just need to throw light at something, it's really, really handy. This is chargeable via USB-C. I think it goes out to, I think it's almost like 6,000 lumens. It's really, really strong. And you can do strobe light and searchlight and kind of like all sorts of different types of beams with this one. Light sticks. For everyone, whenever you want to go to a rave party. I see people carry a lot of light sticks on their kit. I'm not sure if they actually ever use it. It's not very often I tend to use light sticks. It can be kind of like if you clear the room or you need to signal something, you can throw it out, but it's not very often that I use it. So I think it's kind of like a little bit overhyped, at least carrying light sticks all across your vest the whole time, but I like to have one handy if I ever kind of like need to use it. And I have pen and paper. This is a paper that also allows me to write in the rain, and it's always good to have it handy. On the side here, on one of the sides, you will see my cummerbund. My cummerbund here has a Blue Force Gear elastic strap. The good thing about this is that when you don't carry anything in here, it's completely flush to your body. You will not even sense that it's there. But whenever you need it, I can carry 3 extra magazines here, which is then easily available and easily accessible for me when I need to draw it out. It can also carry other stuff like, I don't know, protein bars or maybe more real life stuff like smoke or grenades, or even a radio can fit in here. On the other side here, I have like a general purpose pouch, which is used for all sorts of different things. Normally, it's not in here now, but normally it's hold one of my 4 TQs. Why 4 TQs or tourniquets? It's because you have 4 limbs, so I always try to carry 4. I try to spread them out logically on my body so that I'm able to access them with different hands depending on the situation, or if I'm even missing a hand. And I also try to put them where people will find it if people need to tend to me if I'm wounded. But right in here right now, I just have my little sheet for first responders, kind of like the different drills. I've noticed that even how much you practice these kind of things, if shit really hits the fan, it's good to have like a little sheet that you can look into. I also have my balaclava. This is Agilite, and it's really nice when you wear glasses because it doesn't fog up your glasses. For everyone you want to go covert. So moving to my right side here, I have the first out of 3 knives that I have in total in my kit, and each of them serve a designated purpose. This knife here, which is also a Benchmade. I have 2 Benchmades in my kit, and this is the Benchmade Nivarambus. I think it's called. And this is a Tanto blade, which means that it's a kind of like a half a dagger in the front, has some serrations in the back, and this is a multi-purpose knife that can be used for many things. It has a solid sheet of steel, which I like when it's like a main working tool, because then it's less likely that it will break. But it can also be accessed from both my sides, and it can be drawn very fast, while at the same time it will stick in place when you don't want it to kind of like jump out of your kit. So I'm really happy with this. Had it for a few years and used it a lot. On both sides you will see that I have the quick release. This is very handy if your vest should snag onto something and you quickly need to release it. You just pull this to the side and pull up, and it will quickly release your vest from both sides. On the back here, I am running the Agilite Micro Map, which is like a very, very ultra slim rucksack. And when you don't have anything in it, it will be really, really slim, but it can also take quite a lot of stuff. If you loosen some of these straps here, it will be able actually to take your full helmet. It will be able to take breaching tools because it has this kind of like tail that you can pull out in the bottom, so you can have like a solid breaching tool on your back. There's also various admin pouches where you can have stuff. Just time to time, I actually run extra magazines in the back. It's not easily accessible, but if you're needing extra mags, it's available for you and your teammates. And it also holds I think it's 3-liter Camelback bladder in the back here. That's also good. And you can molly all sorts of different types of equipment. Here you see me have some cuffs on the back, which is easily deployed by just pulling here, and it's very easily accessible. But one of the main purposes, or some might argue about one of the real purposes with a plate carrier, is actually the plate inside. So I want to show you the plates that I actually eventually went for. Oh, before I forget, actually with the dangler I forgot to show you one thing, and it's underneath here because it actually holds the second of my 4 TQs, and it's really nice because it's very easily accessible from both hands. You can easily deploy it. It's just rubber banded to your center of your dangler. But I forgot to show it to you, and that's also the issue because it's so well hidden that people tend to forget. And during some of the first responder trainings that I've had, people that were tending to me when I was kind of like unconscious, they didn't find my TQ, which is why I stuck it at. So I like it to have it here for myself, but likelihood that other people that tend to you will find it is very low. So if you only run it here, I would advise to have it other places as well. Yeah, but back to the plates that I wanted to show you. So like with the helmet, this is from the same company, Danish company, Protection Group Denmark. It's a very light plate, and I'll come back to why. It's only 1.5 kilos. It's multi-curved, which means that it curves in from all 4 sides, which is really nice when you need to wear it for longer periods of time because it fits better to your body. It has a SAPI cut here, which I also like because it then doesn't conflict as much with my rifle when I'm kind of like mounting my rifle. The plate is not in the way. And I guess people will be surprised when I tell you that it's actually made out of plastic. But obviously not the type of plastic that you will find at your grocery store. It's high performance polyethanol, I think I pronounced it correctly, which has a very high ballistic rating. It's rated up to 3+ on a scale that goes from, I don't know if it's 0, but at least it's from 1 to 4. And a 3+ will stop any type of rifle caliber of a standard issue rifle like a 223 or AK-47 or AR-15. It will stop that. What it will not stop is armor piercing rounds. Then you need a level 4, which is then a ceramic plate. But the challenge because there's always pros and cons, you know, like with the ceramic plate, it will be heavier. It's also more likely to crack if you kind of like abuse it a little bit, which I do a lot because I carry my plates when I do stuff which will probably damage the plate. Also, if you get multiple shots in the same area with a ceramic plate, it's also more likely to fracture and loosen its integrity. While on this type of plate, even if you were to take kind of like 4 or 5 shots to the chest, even in a tight group, it's not going to damage the integrity of the shell. So I run 2 of these with 1.5 kilo each. It's only adding 3 kilos to my kit, and it again helps me being very mobile and agile. Oh yeah, I promised to show you my rifle sling as well. This is actually a new one that Agilite just came out with now, and it was part of the testing program that they had. This is the Agilite Reflex 3D sling. So far I tried it a little bit and I really like it, but again, these guys, they make great products. I really like the products they make, but everything tends to be a little bit overhyped. It's not revolutionizing rifle slings, but it's a good rifle sling. It has a little bit of flex, as you see here, so that adds to the comfort. It's quite wide, it's well padded, so that if you need to kind of like carry your rifle over a long period of time, it's quite comfortable. And it has what they call the scorpion tail, because obviously they have a scorpion in their logo, which allows for very fast adjustment of the sling. So I really like this sling. It's the best sling I've ever had, to be fair. The only drawback is that if you operate your rifle and it twists on your back, it soon becomes very uncomfortable because it's so stiff and wide. But I'm using the QD, the quick detachment mount. So yeah, so far I'm really happy with it. So I guess I can recommend that as well. But yeah, over to the thing that I carry the most of the time, which is my belt. Often when we train, we don't always use the vest, but the belt is always on me and always with me. And that's also why I've taken a lot of thought into kind of like how I place different things on my belt. So the belt itself is, no surprise, this is the Agilite Magnetics belt. And as I said with other stuff, it was just immensely hyped before they launched it because it had this magical thing called magnets. And the idea is that you're able to, so a big thing when you can like run inner and outer belt, you have the inner Velcro, and then when you attach your outer belt, you want to have the belt in the same place, because if you get it misaligned, your draw will not be the same, the magazines will not be in the same position. So the cool thing that they had is that they had magnets, or they have magnets on the back. So with steel then on the inner belt and magnets in the outer belt, you will feel it then snap to the back of your belt. So the concept and idea I really liked, but the practical implementation, because you see here the two square magnets, the problem is that often you have other type of textile here. You have belt loops and stuff like that, and the magnets are really just too weak. You cannot feel it, at least I cannot feel it, so it doesn't really help a lot. Having said that, besides the whole magnet hype, it's a great belt. I really like the belt. It's really stiff. I like the MOLLE function, I like the width of the belt, and I like the quality. So I can definitely recommend the belt, but just don't buy it because of the magnets. That's more hype, I think. So if we start in the front here, this is just some hooks. I have two of them, and I often use it for various stuff, but mostly my gloves, because I like to have gloves. These are the Mechanics ultra thin gloves, and I have different types. This is for when I just need very light protection when I'm going prone or when I'm carrying stuff that I don't want to be scraped up on. So these are really nice. Here I have the third knife that I have on my kit, which is just a Leatherman. And here you actually see the last pincer mag pouch that I have left on my kit. And the reason I'm keeping this one is that it just holds my Leatherman, and my Leatherman very rarely needs to be deployed fast. So even if it snags a little bit, that doesn't matter. And I keep it in the front because it's something that I use a lot, and it's nice to have it easily available. Here's my holster. This is the Alien Gear holster. I've used Safariland for many years. I switched to the Alien Gear because it has the level 3 retention that allows me to draw my weapon really fast. And I also think it does a better job in protecting my optics. For when it's raining, or kind of like when you're crawling through the dirt, I think it protects the optics better. I have a really fast draw, the fastest draw I've ever had in a level 3 retention holster. And it's also able to hold my flashlight. The one thing that I didn't like, where I think Safariland does a better job, is that Safariland has, I think, a higher quality in the actual material. I don't know if it is, but it feels a little bit cheaper. And I could also feel my pistol rattling a little bit around in the holster when I was running. And if you want to be a little bit silent, trying to be covert, you don't want your secondary to rattle around in your holster. I solved that by adding some Velcro on the inside here, and now it's completely soundless. So that really did the work. I actually did a YouTube short where I'm showing where I exactly applied the Velcro. So if you have a holster like this and you'd like to do the same, just look up one of the shorts on my page. If we move to the back, here is my IFAK. This is the Ginger Tactical one. I can show you what's in it, but I'm not going to do a full in-depth review because there's lots of different stuff in here, and it will probably take forever just to go through it. But it's easy to deploy. You just pull this and then you pull out the whole pouch. And as I mentioned, I want people who tend to me, if I'm unconscious, to be able to find a TQ. And that's also why I actually put a TQ in the actual pouch. So it's going to be the first thing that you see when you open this is a TQ. Yeah, I'm not going to open this up. I'll do a dedicated video of what are the things that I have in my IFAK. The one thing I will say is that most of the wounds that's actually happened, I see that people don't have the needs to tend to them. Most of the stuff that people run in their IFAK is related to gunshot wounds. And at least if you're not in a conflict environment, that's usually the type of injuries that doesn't happen very often, fortunately. But people get all sorts of other kind of like cuts and bruises and wounds and different things that happen. So I also like to add a few components that are also able to treat more common everyday wounds that people will get just by being out in the field or out and about. Next here is the third knife that I carry. This is also a Benchmade. It's the Benchmade SOCP, Special Operation Combat Program knife. And the purpose that it's solved by having it here is that I'm able to access it with my left hand very easily. So if somebody kind of like goes through your sidearm and you need to kind of like use that right hand to hold your firearm down because you're trying to access it, it's easy to kind of like just take your hand around on the back and pull this knife. It can also be pulled with your right hand if your left hand is accessible. Next here I have the dump pouch. This is a Ginger Tactical, also a Danish brand actually, I think. And what I like about it, it's very slim when I don't need it. It's easily deployed, then it becomes rather large. It has a strap on the top, so if I have stuff like casings or stuff that I don't want to fall out, I can just pull this. I also really would like it to be open in the bottom because when stuff are wet or you kind of like have dirt, it will rinse out. And it also has molly on the inside so that you can attach a dedicated magazine pouch or whatever you like back here if you need it. Then over to my magazine holders that I have on this kit. I only use high-speed gear. This is the tacos. Makes me hungry when I say that word, but this is the high-speed gear tacos, and it's the only one that I would recommend having on my belt. And the reason for that is that I'm also a sports shooter, so being able to pull magazines quickly from my belt is something that I value a lot, but it also needs to kind of like sit in place. And these magazine holders does both. It's so fast because it's only plastic on the sides and you can adjust the retention quite easily. So pulling a magazine out here is so super fast. And also when I compete, I need that. I need to be able to pull it out very fast. So here I have the opportunity to run 4 Glock magazines and 2 rifle magazines. And this setup I'm really happy with. This is actually their Gen 2 version that they came out with, I think less than a year ago. And the design is a little bit different. I'll throw up a picture of the Gen 1 version, which I changed out for no real reason, actually, to be honest, other than that I found this to be a little bit slimmer and the quality of the material to be a little bit better. But I'm really happy with them. Okay, so that's kind of like the main things in a kit. What I haven't covered is weapons. That's more for a different video, the different types of weapons that I use. I also haven't covered clothing, but I'll do a little quick one on that. I used to run UF Pro for many years, and then I found actually a Norwegian brand called NorArm, and I switched to that for various reasons. I think they make some really cool clothing. I found it to be very durable and also highly technical. It's based upon a real life experience, and I used it for a couple of years, and then I met the guys and I entered into a sponsorship with them. So disclaimer, I am sponsored by them, but I did use it and I did recommend it for many years before that. It's actually a NorArm combat sweater that I'm wearing now, even if this is almost like a fun side story, because this actually got banned because there was another company that are known for using 3 stripes that didn't like the fact that they put 3 stripes on their gear. So they actually had to burn all the remaining stock and inventory they had of this one. But fortunately, I have a few ones that I'm able to still use. Last thing, if you go all the way down, you have your boots, and I'll pick them up here. So these are the boots that I use. It's the Hikes, what are they called? Hikes Black Eagle Tactical 2.0 GTX. GTX obviously means Gore-Tex, which means that they are somewhat waterproof if you care to them in the right way. You have the Gore-Tex brand here. Even if it's almost completely blacked out, because I actually tend to my shoes very well. Whenever I'm out using them in the dirt, I clean them and I wax them, which is why they live for so long as well. The reason why I use this one, the Norwegian standard issue boot, I really do not like. It's clunky, it's heavy, it's stiff. Yes, you can kind of like put a lot of love in it and you can kind of like get it to be somewhat comfortable, but these ones are more or less comfortable out from the box. I do think it's actually the Dutch Army that uses these one, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think that the Dutch Army uses this one. What I like about them is, again, back to the fact that I want to be mobile, agile, fast whenever I move around, and this feels almost like a sneaker on my foot. So I really like the way that I feel fast, they're light, but it also gives me the protection that I need. But as with all clothing and gear, this is also highly individual. So do not order them, take my word for it, but try them out first, and maybe you'll like them as well. So that's it. Every piece is there for a reason. I like to constantly update my kit. I like to be able to adapt and improvise depending on what type of situation I am. I want to be able to be mobile and agile and be able to swiftly move around, irrespective of what I need to wear. So there's going to be lots of more content coming up in the weeks ahead. I'm doing a CQB training in Poland, which I'm going to cover. I'm doing a Viking Brutality, which is a tactical brutality match taking place in Sweden, and various other shooting competitions that I'm going to cover. So if you haven't done it already, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more. Thanks.